The first thing Elias heard was the explosion. It came from the forest 3 kilometers behind his small repair station, shaking the windows and sending birds screaming into the night. He grabbed a flashlight and ran toward the smoke. A burning object had fallen between the trees. Elias expected a crashed military drone. Instead, he found a silver escape pod buried in the wet ground. Its door opened. A woman stepped out. She looked almost human, except for the faint blue light beneath her skin and the strange silver markings around her eyes. Blood covered one side of her face. She could barely stand. Elias froze. Then she raised a small device toward him. "Do not call them," she whispered. Before Elias could ask who she meant, distant engines roared above the forest. 3 black aircraft appeared between the clouds. The woman looked terrified. "They found me?" Elias stared at the machines approaching through the darkness. "Who are they?" She looked directly into his eyes. "My hunters." A beam of white light swept across the trees. The woman suddenly collapsed. Elias could have walked away. He could have called the authorities and let them deal with whatever had fallen from the sky. Instead, he carried her inside his workshop. Minutes later, the aircraft landed nearby. A distorted voice echoed through the forest. "Return the alien queen immediately." Elias stopped breathing. "Queen?" He looked at the unconscious stranger. Then every screen in his workshop turned on by itself. A galaxy appeared on the largest monitor, and Earth was marked in red. The woman woke before sunrise. Elias had placed her on an old mechanic's bed and treated the wound on her shoulder. When her eyes opened, every tool on the nearby table began vibrating. She slowly sat up. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I am the last queen of the Aurelian worlds." Elias stared at her. "Why would a queen escape to Earth?" "Because my own empire wants me dead," Lyra explained. That the Aurelian civilization had once ruled hundreds of peaceful worlds. Their greatest achievement was a navigation system, capable of opening stable routes through deep space. But a military council had taken control of the empire and planned to use the system to conquer neighboring civilizations. Lyra had refused. She had tried to expose them. Instead, the council accused her of destroying the royal fleet and murdering thousands of soldiers. Her own people had been ordered to hunt her. She had escaped in a damaged pod and aimed for the one planet no Aurelian hunter expected her to reach. Earth. Elias listened in silence. Then his old radio crackled. A voice spoke in perfect English. "Human settlement identified. Surrender the queen." Lyra's face went pale. "They have found us." Outside, engines screamed through the morning sky. Elias looked at his workshop, then at the old mining tunnels beneath the building. He had spent 20 years repairing machines that nobody else wanted. For the first time, he wondered if those useless machines could become something more. "Can they track you?" "Yes." "Can you leave Earth without them finding you?" Lyra shook her head. "Not with my ship damaged." Elias smiled faintly. "Then we fix it." They escaped through the tunnels moments before the hunters destroyed the workshop. Deep underground, Elias discovered something strange. The damaged escape pod contained an engine unlike anything humanity had built. Its central core was cracked, but its design reminded him of an experimental fusion system he had studied years earlier. He worked for days. Lyra helped him understand the alien components, while Elias adapted human machinery to replace the damaged systems. The two were completely different, yet they understood each other surprisingly well. Lyra knew advanced technology. Elias understood machines that had been broken and abandoned. Together, they created something neither civilization had ever attempted. A ship built from alien technology and human improvisation. But the hunters were getting closer. One evening, Lyra found Elias studying an old human spacecraft engine. "You are building a second engine," she said. "We need more power. It will overload." "Probably. That could kill us." Elias looked at her. "Then let's make sure it doesn't." For the first time since arriving on Earth, Lyra smiled. 3 nights later, the ship was ready. It was ugly. Its hull was made from alien metal, mining equipment, aircraft parts, and sections of Elias's old workshop, but it worked. They launched before dawn. The ship tore through the clouds just as the hunters arrived. For several minutes, Earth disappeared beneath them. Then the alien fleet appeared. Hundreds of warships emerged from hyperspace. Lyra stared at the display. The entire royal pursuit fleet. Elias tightened his grip. Can we fight them?
No. Can we outrun them?
Lyra shook her head. Not for long. Elias looked at the navigation system. The alien fleet expected the ship to flee toward the Aurelian border. Instead, Elias turned toward a dead region of space. Lyra stared at him. That sector is empty. Exactly. They entered it. The region contained no planets, no stars, and no known navigation routes. The hunters followed. Then every sensor on the ship began screaming. A massive gravitational wave passed through them. Lyra suddenly understood. This isn't empty. The dead region was a gigantic ancient structure hidden inside folded space. The ship entered its shadow. The Aurelian fleet stopped. For the first time, their hunters could not track the queen. Elias stared at the enormous shape appearing beyond the glass. It looked like a city built around a black star. Lyra whispered, "The first archive." "What is it?" "The place where our civilization stored its oldest memories." They entered the structure. Inside were thousands of artificial suns and millions of crystal chambers. One chamber opened automatically when Lyra approached. A recording appeared. An ancient Aurelian leader spoke. The crown was never created to control the galaxy. It was created to protect it. Lyra listened as the recording revealed the truth. Long ago, the Aurelian rulers had discovered that advanced civilizations eventually destroyed themselves when technology grew faster than wisdom. The royal system had therefore been designed around one rule. No ruler could command the galaxy alone. The council had secretly removed that limitation. Lyra had been the last ruler who still carried the original royal authority. Her death would allow the military council to control the entire network. But there was another secret. The archive had recorded thousands of civilizations that had faced the same choice. Most had chosen conquest. A few had chosen cooperation. One species had repeatedly appeared in the oldest records. Humans. Elias stared at the ancient images. They showed Earth. Not modern Earth. Earth from thousands of years earlier. Humanity had already encountered the Aurelians. But the meeting had been erased from human history. The final recording explained why. Humanity had refused the Aurelian offer of advanced weapons. Instead, the humans had asked for knowledge that could help both civilizations survive. The Aurelians had admired that choice. Then they had hidden humanity from the galaxy. Lyra looked at Elias. "Your species was protected because you were considered unpredictable." Elias laughed softly. "That sounds about right." But the archive suddenly activated. A message appeared across every screen. "The royal network has been compromised." A second message followed. "The military council is approaching." The hunters had found them. This time the fleet did not stop. Thousands of ships surrounded the archive. The council commander opened communication. "Queen Lyra, surrender yourself in the archive." Lyra stepped toward the transmission. "If I surrender, you will control every world." "Yes, and millions will die. That is the price of order." Elias watched the fleet. Then he noticed something. Every military ship was connected to the same command network. He understood what the Aurelians had failed to see. The council depended on perfect control. Human systems were built around failure, backup systems, manual controls, independent networks, improvisation. Elias connected the archive to his ship. Lyra realized what he was doing. "You cannot defeat them." "I don't need to." He transmitted the ancient recording to every ship in the fleet. Then he transmitted the council's secret orders. Every captain saw the truth. The accusation against Lyra had been fabricated. The royal fleet had not been destroyed by her. The council had destroyed it themselves. For several seconds, the galaxy was silent. Then one military ship lowered its weapons. Another followed. Then 10. Then hundreds. The council commander shouted orders, but the fleet no longer obeyed. The soldiers had finally seen what their rulers had hidden. Lyra stepped forward. "I will not punish you for believing a lie," she said, "but I will not allow you to build another empire from fear." The council surrendered. Months later, Lyra returned to the Aurelian capital. The city had expected a defeated queen. Instead, she arrived in a strange human-built ship. Elias stood beside her. The people watched in silence as the queen walked onto the central platform. She did not reclaim absolute power. She dissolved the military council. and created a new alliance between the worlds. Humanity was invited to join, but Elias refused a royal position. He returned to Earth. His workshop had been destroyed, but he rebuilt it. 1 year later, a message arrived from the stars. It contained only 3 words. "We remember humans." Elias smiled. He looked through the window at the night sky. For centuries, humanity had believed it was alone. Now the galaxy knew humanity existed, and somewhere beyond the stars, Queen Lyra was rebuilding a civilization that had nearly destroyed itself. She had gone to Earth as a hunted queen. She had returned to the galaxy with something far more valuable than an army. A human had reminded her that power did not have to mean control. Sometimes, the strongest thing a civilization could do was protect someone who had nowhere else to go. And for the first time in Aurelian history, the royal ships did not travel through the galaxy carrying weapons. They carried a message. Humanity had returned to the stars,